to go to your dental professional. It's all because of money making. Yes, we're not ready for that conversation, so we'll stick to this. We have our natural toothpaste. Hi, so today I'll be making homemade natural toothpaste, and this is just how I do mine. Now, I'm a dental hygienist, and for some time I've always wondered, why is it that when I use toothpaste I can't swallow it? Why is it that when I use my mouthwash I cannot swallow it? And anything that we're putting on our bodies, anything that we're putting in our mouth, it should be a case in which we can ingest it, because God would have created all these natural ingredients, would have given us the herb of the land, and the things that he would have given us, it is for our healing, it is for the healing of the nation. And so these ingredients that I have behind me, they're what I use to make my toothpaste. I do use conventional toothpaste as well, but I mainly make my own, since I just prefer to do it. Some of the ingredients that we have here, they are quite helpful. They have been, I wouldn't say scientifically proven, because we know how, I'm not sure if I want to go down in that rabbit hole about how some of the many of the things that we consume, many of the things that we purchase, it's all because of money making. Yes, it helps, but to what extent? And as well as it takes away our autonomy to create things on our own and rely on certain systems. But I guess we're not ready for that conversation, so we'll stick to this. So let me just say this right here. If you have an incipient carie, meaning it's just at the beginning process of the cavity stage, the first stage of cavity making, if you can call it that, it can be reversed. If you have an incipient carie, you can get fluoride treatment, which helps to reverse that. Some people do oil pulling, which they find quite helpful, so that's something you can do. But you can visit your dental professional to seek out the best option and to ascertain as to which stage it is truly at, because sometimes we see a little brown mark on the tooth and we'll be like, oh, it's a little thing, but sometimes when the dentist drill inside, it's a whole monster. And so it helps to go to your dental professional. Make sure that you go to your dental professional, your dentist, your dental hygienist, do a checkup every 6 months. Every 6 months, you need to go to your dental professional to get oral cancer screening, a very comprehensive dental checkup to see if you have any carie, if you have any fractured tooth, all that you need to know, they will tell you. So don't just stay at home and do your thing. If you choose to, I can't force you, but it helps to go to your dental professional every 6 months and get a general checkup and also your dental cleaning, because these things help to prevent cavity and just help you to save your teeth overall, which many people, if they could save their natural teeth, they would prefer to do that rather than to go aesthetic or to get dentures and all that. So if you can save your teeth, do that. So I have my book here. This book I keep for everything. When I say everything you can think of naturally, I've researched and I've written down the benefits, all of that, because I love doing that. So for this ingredient, we're going to first use what we have here, we have coconut oil, we have baking soda. This is quite abrasive. Baking soda, when you use it repetitively, continuously, maybe that I should use that because that sounds better. When you use it continuously, it can be very abrasive on the tooth, and so it's better if you mix it with bentonite clay. Make sure that this is the food grade one. The bentonite clay, make sure that this is the food grade one. And I got some toothpicks to mix it, because when you're mixing bentonite clay, you don't want it to come in contact with any form of metal because it will react. All right, I also have some cinnamon powder. When you're making like your mouthwash, you can use the cinnamon stick if you have that. I have some charcoal, activated charcoal. I'm just gonna add a pinch of this to mine. You don't have to, it is quite optional if you choose to want to try out this recipe. and I have peppermint oil. So I'm going to use these ingredients. It is helpful to add clove oil. If you have clove essential oil, you can use that. I have clove, but I didn't get the chance to infuse it in the coconut oil, so I'm just not going to do that. I'll add that to my mouthwash when I make it later. I'm not sure if I'm going to make that video, but if you want to see it, you can ask for it. I'm going to put it in this glass jar that I have. You want it to be in a container in which you'll be able to seal it properly. All right, so this is what I'm going to mix it in. So starting out, I'm going to need 2 tablespoons of coconut oil. All right, so that is 2 tablespoons. I'm going to be using 1 teaspoon of baking soda. As I said, it is quite abrasive, so don't use much. Some people use 1 tablespoon. I'm using 1 teaspoon because I know that when you use something that is a bit too abrasive on the teeth, it can start to have a breakdown of the enamel itself, and that is not something you want, because when you rub away the enamel itself, you then start to see a reflection of the dentin. So let me add the bentonite clay next. The bentonite clay, I add that because it is quite it's not as abrasive as the baking soda. It is much more, I will call it, what's the term I'm looking for? It's a bit softer on the teeth itself. So it will be 1 teaspoon that I add to this, but I will not be using the measuring spoon because it's actually metal. So I'm going to just, do like a real Jamaican and just eyeball it. All right. And I've made this many times. I've made this ingredient. I think I have a video on Instagram. I'm not sure if you've seen that, but where I went to the river and I was brushing my teeth with it. I can just insert that clip right there. Hopefully I remember. Let me add the cinnamon powder first. If you have cinnamon essential oil, you can use that. I don't have any currently, so I'm using the cinnamon powder. Just gonna use 1/4 of that, or a bit less. Right. So that is in. Going good so far. I actually forgot one thing, and that is my dropper. Let me just go for it. So I have my dropper. Right. So the peppermint oil is in. I'm now going to just mix it a little. coming together. All right, so now I'm going to add a bit of charcoal. This tool is a little abrasive, and so I'm just going to add a small amount. Take this time to remind you that every 6 months you should visit your dentist or dental professional, whether that be a dental nurse, a dental hygienist, or a dentist, a dental surgeon. Go and get your dental cleaning, go and get your oral cancer screening. That is so important. A lot of people think that, oh, the mouth is separate from the body, but no, because the mouth tells a lot. The mouth can tell you a lot. When a dental professional looks in your mouth, they can tell if you have diabetes, they can tell if you have sexual transmitted diseases. There's so many things that we can tell from just looking in the mouth, and sometimes we take it for granted that, oh, it's not important. But going to get your dental visit every 6 months is not so we want come make you feel pain, because if you do what is necessary for preventative, you won't need to be in pain later. So take care of your dental health, your oral health. All right, so this is how it's looking. It is up to you if you want it. If you want to add more bentonite clay, you can add that, or if you want to add a bit more baking soda, you can do that, but this is okay for me. Right? So this is what we have. Just gonna let it stay a little bit so it can just come together. Right? So should I not? I don't know. But so this is our toothpaste. Yeah. And as I said, if you want to add more baking soda, you can do that. Or if you want to add more bentonite clay, the food grade one, you can do that. So it can be a bit more of a paste than too runny. But I prefer it this way, so I'm using it this way. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for watching in its entirety. I appreciate that. And remember, visit your dental professional every 6 months. I can't stop stressing that. It's important that you go. Preventative care is better than restorative care.